Alright fam, welcome back to the channel. We're out of the garage today because we are at Galot Motorsports. I decided to take the Nissan out for a little rip. Of course we ain't tuned it, but based on the data logs and stuff, I think we're good. So I'm gonna give it my best shot. Hopefully we'll run a PB today. For people that's new to the channel, stock bottom end 6.0. It's been gapped for high boost, running maybe 18 pounds or so. This is a 80 millimeter T4 turbine housing. It's considered a small turbine housing, the 110. We got some, I think 1400 SEF injectors, and we're gonna see what we can do today. So real quick, the last time we came, my transmission was slipping. With the transmission slipping, it didn't make the 2 to 3 shift. It bounced off the limiter, then it made the third gear shift. We ran a 6.8. That 6.8 was with I think like a 1.5 60 foot. Again, my transmission been rebuilt. I actually have a manual valve body now from ExtremeAutomatics, and we also have bump box as well. So all that's gonna be new. Hey, I'm gonna give it my best shot. Hope I don't break anything. All right, we're about to run a Z06. I don't know what to expect. The tires up. I thought I broke something for a minute, but it lit the tires up. Oh snap! That was too aggressive of a launch. We're gonna turn that down a little bit. Get off the track and my freaking brake pads are toast. All of that was after 2 runs. Let's see what come out of here. Nothing. And my dipstick was dipping a little bit of oil over here. I've already cleaned it up, so I think my springs is too I think my daggone ring gap is too loose. So I think I'm gonna wrap something around here to kind of protect it a little bit. All right, taking a glance at the time slip. 157.65 at 111. Also changed my ramp. I converted from boost versus speed to boost versus time, meaning that this timetable or this deal is activated after I let go of the TransBrake. I got it on a 10-second timer, and I had this slope coming in a little later, meaning basically I gave it all of the dome pressure right around here. This time I brought it in a little more. I might give it more rounded edge or something, but I'm gonna try that. But I'm scared because my brakes are shot.
6-0, boy.
Yeah! Yeah, baby! Yeah, my brakes are done. And my steering is done too.
Bruh.
Yeah, I lost my belt. This mug is overheating. Golly. Let's do a recap, checking over the data log from that last run. This is the data log. Right here, I'm showing where I'm basically hitting two-step. As you can tell, I'm not moving, but right there, you can see that I am running roughly about 7 pounds of boost. The kind of like tan line is the boost. So we launched it on about 7 pounds. There's my RPM, so it'd be about 2,800. Look like it's fluctuating around 2790-ish or so. And right here is where the speed is. The speed is in the purple line. That's where we start the launch, and the boost basically goes from launch to full boost in roughly about a second. The boost is again that like mustard looking color right there, 16 pounds in about a good second. And as you can tell through the whole run, look at my daggone TPS, man, 76%. I got a daggone problem with not putting my foot all the way down to the ground. This is something that I had an issue with the last time I went to the track. This is something I had an issue with last time I was on the dyno. Hey, and guess what, Josh Kinsey? I still got a problem with it. So with all of this being said, man, I can't wait to go back to the track because I guarantee you that this Joker got a 5 in it somewhere. And you know how cool that'd be to have an independent rear suspension 240 running a 5 1/4? I mean, excuse me, running a 5 1/8? I know other people done it, but when you do it, it's like a good feeling, man. When you sit there and build something with your bare hands and your mind, your blood, sweat, and tears, and then you take it out there and you rip on that mug and then do exactly kind of what you want and a little bit kind of what you want. That's a good feeling, man. All right, fam, we're back at the garage. As you can tell, the Nissan made it back safe and sound. Just a recap of Thursday night drag at Galop Motorsports. Galop Motorsports is the closest track to me. It's an 1/8 of a mile track. It's a good track as far as trying to get your 1/8 of a mile stuff dialed in. And it's also a brand new track. Overview of that afternoon. First lick we made, the car spun. I launched it on 9 pounds of boost. Tire pressure was roughly about 20 PSI. That's what I run on the Mickey Thompson ETs on the street. The result of that, it spun. Second hit, turned it down on the launch, and it did not spin. It made a good pass, but as you can tell in the video, I short shifted it. To be honest with you, that mug grabbed so daggone hard, I wasn't used to it. I don't go to the track often. The last time I went to the track was one time about a year ago. So the second hit, it stuck. The third pass, I was in the line and I ran across one of my boys that I ain't seen in a long time. We got to talking about the Mickey Thompson ETs. I told him I was running 20 PSI. He suggested to be running between 14 to 17 pounds. Because I was in the line, I couldn't go back and put my tire gauge on it. I used my pocket knife, basically compressed the Schrader valve in the tire for maybe a good 10 seconds. Didn't know until afterwards that the PSI on the tires was 17 PSI. With that 17 PSI and the 7 pounds of boost at launch at 2,800 RPMs, that's when we got our PB of 6.0 and 115 miles an hour. It's one of those deals where I knew the car should at least do a 6.0, maybe dip into the 5s, but everything on paper always looks good until you get into the seat and then you do your run. I was beyond stoked. I was super excited for the 6.0 run, but unfortunately the serpentine belt came off. With the serpentine belt coming off and the combination of mainly my rear brake shoes was metal on metal. I decided to call it a night. For everybody that's not familiar with this car, or this is your first time watching one of my videos, this is the stock bottom end 6.0. This is the LQ960, meaning it's the high compression 6.0. Factory compression on it is like 10:1 compared to the LQ4. It has a Summit Racing Stage 3 camshaft in it. It's got a custom hot side built by me where I have the wastegate coming out of the turbine housing. I got a 50mm wastegate. We're supposed to be running like somewhere around 18 pounds of boost, but we were running 16 that night. The car is still running on IRS. IRS means independent rear suspension, which is basically the factory style suspension setup on these chassis. But I do have a Q45 rear differential. So that's the 90 to 94 Q45. It has a 355 rear gear. It's a bigger diff. Whether that matters or not, I got it in there. And the reason I did that is because I want the bigger axles. I have a Q45 short side axle with the axle hubs on one side. And on the other side, the twin turbo 300Z axle was too long. So I did my research, I did my measuring. Come to find out, the front axle out of a 4-wheel drive Nissan Titan will fit. So that's basically what my rear end is made up of. And then I also have a built 408 built by Jason over at Wicker Performance, located in Raleigh, North Carolina. With that transmission, he's done what he has recommended on that transmission. And then the main component is we got an ExtremeAutomatics valve body. I don't think there's too much information out on this valve body yet, but I mean, how different can you make a valve body? This valve body is working so far. It did turn the car from having shifts based on computer controls. Now I shift it. So for the most part, that's the gist of the car. Next time we go out, I will manipulate the tune to try to run a 5. I wanted to run a 5. That's something that I want to do. The car ran the best of a 1400 60 foot. That jump felt strong. I ain't gonna lie to you. That felt real strong. It felt real good. At what point will it break? I guess you have to stay tuned to find out. In the meantime, check me out on social media. And hey, I love everybody that comes to the channel. And Dante, you was right. It spun on the first hit. Okay? Peace.